Hey everyone, Tony George, Stock Sports Friday update. We're going to be talking very briefly about the NFL opener last night, free play between Louisville and Central Florida, and a couple things you want to look out for, and a prop player update for the NFL, and a 7-unit alert on Saturday in college football. So a lot to cover today. And last night, was Matt Stafford wearing a Detroit Lions uniform? Because he sure looked like it, and that elbow is not 100%. Guy was missing passes and throwing picks on set routes and little 8-yard slants. Buffalo kicked their ass. And full disclosure, I'm not a hype buyer, so I didn't buy into this whole thing last week. I was listening to ESPN, anointing Ohio State as the second coming of Christ, and that Georgia and Alabama need to be put on notice. They almost got beat. And yesterday they were anointing. We might as well just pitch the entire NFL season, throw it aside, and just go right to the Super Bowl and have a 3-team, 4-team playoff in the NFC to see who gets to play Buffalo in the Super Bowl. It's not that easy. But last night, they put an ass kicking on the Rams. They won't soon forget. Sean McVay did not have his team ready to play. Full disclosure, I had a little lean, small 2-unit play on LA and a little lean on the under and the write-up as well. But that being said, on paper, the Rams had the better defense. And whenever, basic handicapping fundamental 101, whenever the better defense is at home in the NFL catching points, that's a take. And on paper, did not prove to be results on the field because Buffalo dominated them on both sides of the ball, especially in the coaching department, quarterback play department, linebacker play department, turnover department. Just don't overreact to what you saw. But that was an awesome display from the Buffalo Bills, and they're put my boys on notice in the AFC. That's faux show. So, but three things I want you to think, three things that determines the outcome of a lot of these games, which is going to happen to you on Sunday. I'm telling you right now, write it down, tattoo it to your girlfriend's butt. Whatever you got to do. These teams in the NFL, a lot of these starters that are starting on Sunday for the regular season saw no more than 2 quarters of full contact football in the preseason outside of their own training camp. So you're going to have miscues. You're going to have turnovers, penalties, and special teams blunders. And those are going to determine, those 4 things are going to determine 90% of the games this weekend on the point spread. So tread lightly out of the gate. Nobody's in mid-season form. However, Buffalo kind of looked like it last night. And LA looked like they were playing in a soap scrimmage for the, first full pad contact in training camp. So, that being said, and of course, Josh Allen, leading rusher on the team, did it all. Unbelievable football player. Keep him healthy, they're going to go a long way. And I will tell you this much, this is not an overreaction. Buffalo Bills are going to win that division by a landslide. Hello. All right, tonight's game. Central Florida taking on Louisville. I'm going to take Central Florida. I'm going to lay the number. Gus Madelon has came over from Auburn to this program. Now, they went on the road last year as a 7-point favorite, got beat at Louisville. Last week, Louisville struggled to put 7 points on the board against Syracuse. Also last week, Central Florida put up 56 points, albeit it was South Carolina State. But one thing you look at, and this is one of the best handicapping tips I can give you. Before the internet, I was doing this full time. That means you got the local paper, in my case, the Omaha World Herald or the Lincoln Journal-Star, or the Kansas City Star, which you could get up in Omaha or Lincoln. Still, they sold it up there. They had a little better, the box scores. That's how you determine. So if you place a wager on a side or a total and you're way off and you get your ass kicked, you go, God, that was a bad call. Well, you never know. You have to learn from wins and losses, but especially losses. You had an expectation and it wasn't met and you were completely off base. What happened? You can go to the box score and you usually can find out. And one thing I always look for with teams that are struggling on offense, versus teams that aren't. And an old-time handicapper named Joe Gavassi, many of you may have heard of Joe, he taught me this. He said, you always look in those box scores for the 200-200 rule. And I go, what's the 200-200 rule? He goes, when they're putting up a lot of points in previous games, look at their season averages running and throwing the ball or their box score from the previous game. They had over 200 yards rushing and over 200 yards throwing. There's a team you want to keep your eye on, especially against a team that's struggling offensively. Well, last week, Central Florida had 207 running and 242 throwing. That's balance on offense. And I think that's going to be too much for Louisville, at least the way they looked last week, to come out and contend in this thing. And plus, you got Central Florida playing for revenge. Give me the Knights tonight, minus the 6 for your free play. Over at DocSports.com, tomorrow we have a 4-play card with a 7-unit top play on there. And I fully intend on going 4-0. We're 6-2 in college football. Let's frickin' go. Okay? Gave you 86% winners last year with college football top picks of 6 units or more. 14 out of 16. Those are very big shoes to fill. But I really like this 7-unit play tomorrow. It's a total mismatch. So we got that going for us. On Sunday, we have a 5-pack. 2 teasers, 2 totals, and a side. Going to manipulate the lines of those teasers for and against, taking points, dropping some points, and kind of see how things shake out week 1. But we are going to have a player prop card. Earlier this week, I said Gabe Davis was going to have over 60-some-odd yards, whatever it was. He had 88 last night. And then on Twitter, right before the game last night, there was an exchange going on with me and Joe Madden, some other people. And she said, what's your best prop bet? I said, Gabe Davis, catch touchdown, plus 145. He was the guy that caught the first touchdown pass. Giving you these things for, a couple of them, like we did in baseball. We're going to pass with the player props today in baseball. So you're yanking a lot of pitchers early, especially if you're on pitchers with teams in contention or already coasting into the playoffs. They're pulling their starters early. That affects over and unders. We're going to take a step back. It's a sketchy board today. We'll be back tomorrow. But on Sunday in the NFL, we will have a 4-pick player prop card to complement our sides and totals and teasers card. Invest, win, and get paid with these player props. 4-unit Major League Baseball best bet. We got WNBA Finals, the Connecticut Sun up into the Chicago Sky. A little bit of an upset in that series. So Connecticut had played very well coming into the postseason, and they carried it all the way through. Now they're taking on the Las Vegas Aces on Sunday. I forgot what the total was. Looks like the Aces are laying about 5 in that one. A couple extra days rest. Ought to be a hell of a WNBA Finals. We're going to finish strong. We're at 63% on the year to date in the WNBA. And in NASCAR, one of my favorite races to bet. We're going to have a 7-unit top play for sure, along with probably 1 or 2 other head-to-head picks in NASCAR on Sunday. And UFC 279 is on Saturday. We've hit 7 out of our last 9 picks in the UFC. Booyah!